What's going on, everyone? My name is Sherwin and we are in the Model X Loaner Studios, and you gotta forgive me for my voice and everything. My allergies just came back, so my eyes are a little watery, my voice is a little raspy. But yeah, we are here in Upland Service Center because I just got a text message. Well, I got it like a few hours ago saying that the truck is ready to go. All right, we spoke with a service advisor. So first of all, shout out to Leslie. She's the one that wrote me up when I dropped off the car. Anthony was the one that was in contact with me to let me know what was going on. I did ask about them proactively replacing the rear inverter, but once again, they're like, if there's nothing wrong with it, like we can't proactively do it. Then the person that I spoke with right now is Johannes. So, you know, he was very helpful with all my questions and similar answer, like they can't. I did ask about the recall, the official recall of the Cybertrucks for low VIN Foundation Series, and I asked, is that the same thing as what I had? So his answer was no, because the recall itself was the rear inverter and not the front. So my thing is, it's probably the same cause. It just so happens that it's the front inverter and not the rear inverter. But yeah, am I worried about it? I'm only worried about it if we're on a road trip in the middle of nowhere, or, I mean, regardless of where we're at, it's gonna be taken care of. It's just that I have to go back and get it. Like, let's say we're in Vegas and that happens, and I set up an appointment or drop it off at a Vegas service center, then I'm sure they're gonna give me a loaner. Now I have to drive back to go pick it up. So that's where, you know, like I don't like that. But we're gonna be positive about this. We're gonna remain positive. It's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen. But we're gonna be transferring our stuff, and I'm gonna show you some things and go over the invoice while we're here. Okay, let's go over the invoice. Pretty much for the front motor being disabled, the technician note says, technician inspected the vehicle and confirmed the front motor disabled alert was present. The issue was caused by a problem with the front drive inverter, which was identified through a low voltage circuit integrity check. So that's what triggered that alert. The front drive inverter was replaced to resolve the issue. After the replacement, the vehicle was tested and the alert was no longer present, ensuring normal operations. I love the the words that they use on here. It's like, you know, like it doesn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's a neutral type of words that they use, or like we ensure that this will never happen again type words, but more of like, this is what we did, and based on what we did, the errors or whatever, the problems have been resolved. So I just love the words that they use on here. So the next thing is the recall. Well, it's not really, is it a recall? There's a TSB, Technical Service Bulletin, regarding the missing, quote unquote, missing slat on the tonneau cover that is closest to the glass roof. If you don't have that piece, then more than likely water will enter through there and your vault will get wet, or will get water. And we have gotten that because of the rain that we have been getting. The technician notes for that one is, technician inspected the tonneau cover and confirmed the need to apply a service bulletin for an exposed water management channel. The issue was due to the design of the tonneau cover, and the fix was chosen based on the service bulletin instructions. Technicians installed an additional tonneau slat to address the issue. The fix was validated by ensuring the water management channel was no longer exposed. Let's go take a look. Previously, this piece was missing. You could see there was that channel exposed. So when it rains or when you get water here, or when the water falls on here and it falls down here and drips, it's gonna get in. It's gonna get in. So what they did is they added this additional slat, which was missing before, and now hopefully we don't have any more wet vault. But yeah, so that is an issue, a known issue. So make sure you check if you are missing a slat here and that channel is exposed, to go have your service department be aware of it, create a ticket and take a picture. There is a technical service bulletin on it, and they'll fix it. And then finally on the invoice, the tonneau opens randomly, and so I would get these notifications on the phone, and while Abby's driving it, and I'm like calling her, I'm like, don't you get the notification? Like, why are you leaving the tonneau cover open? Go close it, you know, because she keeps stuff in the vault. And I'm like, you don't want to be Santa Claus to people and give away stuff in your vault because the tonneau is left open. I didn't open it. So I'm glad she doesn't watch these videos, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this is what they found. Technician inspected the vehicle and confirmed the tonneau cover was opening unexpectedly. The issue was traced back to a low voltage circuit problem affecting the charging system. The technician performed a signal inspection and found the tonneau cover was manually opened 21% of the way and then went into drive, triggering the alert. The tonneau cover rails were lubricated to prevent binding. The fix was validated through a successful test where the tonneau cover operated correctly without opening on its own. So that was that thing I was mentioning, that it opened randomly by itself when I was here dropping off the truck. 21%. So I was concerned they weren't going to be able to replicate it, but I'm glad that the computer has logged those things just for them to trace it. Those random things are really difficult to troubleshoot, but they got a computer log on it, so I am so thankful for that. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and open the tonneau, and I'm gonna show you they have lubricated, added lubrication. I don't know if you could see it, but it's glistening against the sun. Can you see it? Well, I can see it. But they lubricated it. I can't see it glisten on this side because the sun is right on it, or right on the opposite side of it. So, but according to the invoice, they lubricated it. Everything's all good. There wasn't really that much issues of it closing and opening, but it was just doing it randomly. So we're gonna go ahead and close it, and it's just operating as usual. And it's quiet too. Love that compared to like Rivian's. But yeah, so we got the truck back. We are still here. It's in dirty shape, but that's how I like my trucks, dirty and dusty. It's been too many days. I mean, it hasn't been too many days, but like 2 business days. So here's the thing. So with these issues, Tesla's been able to fix them, and in a timely manner. As far as my experience lately, there were times with the Model X where they've had it for weeks. So, you know, and I think they know how to troubleshoot the Cybertruck better than the Model X, at least the issues that I had with the Model X. So I'm glad that they have that. Anthony did reply back on the text. I'll just put up the screenshot. But basically, yeah, the only thing that is an issue of mine is if this were to happen while we're on a road trip, and is this an inconvenience? Unless they transport it from one service center to the service center here in Upland. But there are many things linked to that they may not do that, as far as, let's say, liability, transporting a vehicle that they do not own, that I own. They're probably going to be worried about liability. So we do a lot of road trips, and I just don't want it happening during a road trip. So, because it's time. The cost of time is really expensive in my opinion. So that's really what my concern is. I'm not concerned about how Tesla will handle any warranty issues, because they're always on it. You know, you just schedule an appointment and that's it. And lately, you know, again, it has improved. They have loaners available. At least the service center I go to, they have loaners available. So it hasn't been an issue. Clean loaners, that's a different story. I'm happy that they resolved it. I'm happy that they found the issue. I'm happy that they replaced it. All of my concerns. Now, I did try to get the rattle added in there underneath the steering wheel that I mentioned during the 2-month review of the truck. But they said we will do that on another service appointment, because it isn't like a safety thing or an immediate thing. Now, for the Cant Rail recall, according to Johannes, he said that those haven't come in yet. So then I asked, well, are they coming in assigned to VINs already? He said yes. So that's why it hasn't showed up on my VIN report, or whatever you want to call it. So that's why they couldn't work on the Cant Rail recall. So that is a recall. I just have to wait till those parts are assigned to me, and there's going to be an email or something, a notification that pretty much says, okay, schedule for your service so that we could address this recall. So you just got to be patient. I've inspected the Cant rails, and they're not loose, or the adhesive's holding on. It's mainly areas where it gets very cold, from my understanding, that the adhesive becomes brittle or hard, and just the adhesive, it doesn't stick. So that's my understanding. Being in California, the weather doesn't get that cold, so it's not like a big deal for me to get it addressed as soon as possible. But again, I have inspected it. I'm not concerned about it. Yeah, so it's one of those things that for sure you're not going to get alerts, notifications in the computer. Hey, your Cant rail is loose. You're not going to get that. So you have to like look for yourself and just check for yourself. So there's questions and comments about people concerned about, you know, picking up a Cybertruck, worried about issues, you know, all that stuff. So here's my opinion on it. Again, I'm not trying to persuade you into getting a vehicle or not getting a vehicle. These videos I do to share my own ownership experience. You're going to have a very different ownership experience, but I do hope that the experience that I share will just help you get familiar with the vehicle, and you could make your own decision with it. This was my thinking when taking delivery of the Cybertruck. Mind you that we've had 2 buybacks on the Model X, and then my wife Abby wanted a third, and I'm like, no, we're done with that. But why get rid of 2 problematic Model X's, and then knowing that the Cybertruck had issues already with the inverters? There's a recall. I knew even before taking delivery, even before taking or placing the order, I knew. Here's the reason why we went through it anyway. Because of the experience I've had with 2 Model X buybacks, because of how well or how bad Tesla handled those service appointments, and they weren't all perfect. You could look at the previous videos. They were not all perfect, and yet we keep coming back and getting a Tesla. So Tesla will take care of it. From my experience, they have, is it 8-year or 10-year warranty, 150,000 mile on the battery. no problem right there. Not worried about battery, right? And then the worry is that, is it 50,000 or 40,000 mile warranty for everything else? See, that's why I wanted to put a lot of miles on this thing to knock the bugs out and have them come out as fast as possible, and which it did. But as long as it's within warranty, they've taken care of it. And the worst case, they bought it back. And the process, from my experience anyway, has been fine. Like, you know, I mean, the only surprise that I had was I didn't start realizing they were going to charge mileage, because on the first buyback, they didn't charge us anything. We got 100% to the penny, even registration renewal. They refunded that money. But on the second buyback, they charged like $9,700 for 12,000 miles, 12,500 miles that we driven the Model X, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, so that's why I also make sure I do all these service appointments and take note of the mileage, just so that, you know, it's on the record right there. Like, look, we've had a rear actuator, steering actuator replaced already, like within days of taking delivery. The second appointment was suspension related also, but they said it was due to firmware issues. And then now this, and there was a couple of you who reached out and said it could be firmware related, where it was a glitch because the alert went away. And I thought of that, but when I brought it in, their computer still had the error lit up. So it was hardware. It turned out to be hardware, and they replaced it. So that's why I'm not, at least for me, I'm confident that Tesla will fix the issues. Based on my experience, it's just the cost of time. It's just the cost of patience. I keep mentioning that, because you just have to, you know, be patient. The situation's already bad. Don't make it any worse by just being rude, or, you know, yes, there's times that I do get upset, but, you know, they're gonna take care of it. Just be patient. If you ain't got the time to take it to the dealership, have them go through all that, I wouldn't get a Tesla. I mean, but here's the thing. Show me a car that is problem free. I mean, yeah, Model 3, Model Y, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it had the least amount of issues. So, you know, go for that. If you need to have or really want a Tesla, get a Model 3, get a Model Y. I don't know about the refresh. It's too early to say. But those two cars right there, based on, compared to what they have on the fleet, those two are the most reliable out of all of them. And they're not even their high-end cars. Otherwise, look elsewhere. There's plenty of other manufacturers who sell EVs. Are they as good as Tesla? I mean... I have other videos that explain that, but personally, Rivian is the second on my list, a distant second, but it's the closest second place, in my opinion, as far as technology integration. But if you're more concerned about quality of the vehicle, don't buy a Rivian, don't buy a Tesla. They are more of a tech company and a car company second. So, as far as experience, I had least amount of problems with software, but more on the car side. That's what I've noticed. Go with the legacy automakers and buy their EVs if you want a more reliable vehicle. Now, are they going to have as good of a technology as Tesla, Rivian, or Lucid? In my opinion, no. Because they are a car company first and a technology implementer second. Like, they are more focused on the car side of things, and then they put technology on top of it. And what worries me about those companies is when you do have issues, because they're not vertically integrated, you may have a hard time getting them to resolve the issue with the technology part. And I've mentioned it in the past video. I've had a Prius and a Sienna together in the garage. I owned both of them at the same time. They had keyless entry with the keys. And if I have both keys in my pocket, they won't start. I'm not a car mechanic or expert or anything, but common sense tells me that the frequency on those key cards or those key fobs, they're interfering with one another. That's why I can't start either car if both key fobs are in my pocket. They couldn't resolve that because there's no TSB or anything like that, you know, that would tell them how to fix it. So more than likely a different company was in charge of programming those keys. So I couldn't get help. I couldn't get help with that. And that was back in 2013. Have they improved? I don't know, but I doubt it. So that's the concern of mine, buying EVs from legacy manufacturers. And I call them legacy because they still got third-party dealerships. And so, you know, I hear that whenever you need to do a software update, for the most part, they're not over the air. You have to bring it into the dealership and get your updates. Doesn't make any sense. One example, I believe Hyundai Ioniq 5, I think a year or two ago, had preconditioning added to their software. That feature was not available from day one. It became available through a software update that you need to bring your car in so that the dealership will install it. Will the dealership know what to do? Probably, you know, they'll eventually know, but they don't have anyone on staff that would know right off the bat because they're car mechanics. They're not like software people. And you're probably like, oh, that's easy stuff. Like, look, I could say, you know, programming databases is easy because that's what I do. That's part of the thing that I do. But yeah, so those are just things that I want to share with you all, just my opinions on things. That's why I cannot look at other car manufacturers. It's just, I'm after the tech. And if I'm after the tech, it's Tesla, it's Rivian, and it's Lucid. And it's just, Lucid doesn't have dealerships nearby. So it's just Tesla and Rivian for me. That, to me, EVs are closely integrated with software. And that's why I pick Tesla and Rivian all the time. I just wish my wife would do the same. But she's only a Tesla person. I also want to mention that I have these running boards. No issues with the service department. They were able to put it on a lift. I think if they needed to put it on a lift, I'm sure they did because they replaced the inverter, but no issues. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm glad I got the Cybertruck back. I'm not worried about buying Tesla over and over again, even if, you know, the quality isn't there or whatever. Whenever I have problems, they just take care of it. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't checked out the other service videos where they replaced the rear steering actuator, then please check it out. Otherwise, we took a trip to San Diego with the Cybertruck before this whole thing happened. Go check that out as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.